And you need to know that Country to Country is happening this weekend at the O2 in London, and it stars the one and only Carrie Underwood. Carrie, hello, good evening.
Hello,
How are you?
good evening. I'm great, thank you.
And I can see you have a thick scarf on, you have a thick jumper, and you have your anorak with you because just moments ago there was thick
snowing.
And do you have some fans outside?
Yeah.
Did you stop and say hello because they were covered?
It wasn't snowing at that moment, luckily enough, so I did get to say hi.
They were cold.
They did look cold. I didn't want their coldness to be in vain.
How is it at home at the moment? Because it's not, this time last year it was a really nice little heat wave that we were having. But
well, when I was home a few days ago, and it felt kind of springy, to be honest. It was raining, but it was warmer, so that was nice.
And is home Oklahoma?
Sorry, Nashville.
Oh, you're so sorry. Nashville. All right. Well, look, this Country to Country gig sounds fantastic. Just explain what's happening, because it's not just a Carrie Underwood concert.
Right.
Well, that is part of it, but explain what's going to happen.
Well, it is a music festival filled with country music artists. 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. My day, it's myself and Darius Rucker and Leanne Rhymes, amongst others. Saturday, Tim McGraw and Vince Gill. A lot of talent, a lot of country music's finest. So
and Darius Rucker, he was Hootie and the Blowfish, wasn't he?
Yes,
Fantastic.
And he does still break out the Hootie and the Blowfish songs from time to time, which is really nice to see because people want to hear those too. So once you're in this, so it is a festival, but is it going to be a classic Carrie Underwood concert? Are you just going to do exactly the same kind of stuff that you would do at home, or are you going to do it slightly differently because you're at the O2 in London? There's a few changes, a few tweaks. I get to play a little bit longer in my sets back in the States because we have all of our own staging and we run on our own time, so I can sing as long as I want. But yeah, a few tweaks.
So we're getting less of you?
Well, no, I'm getting the maximum time allowed.
All right, so of the allocation, you're going to be performing. So it sounds like an extraordinary event, and Tim McGraw and yourself, it must be two of the biggest country stars that it is possible to book.
Yeah, I'm in great company.
But you haven't played lots in the UK. I know you did the Royal Albert Hall,
right,
and that sold out in seconds or something like that. So your fans over here have had to wait quite patiently for this.
Yes, but they have been absolutely wonderful. I was so surprised in such a great way when we came to the Albert Hall.
Why were you surprised?
I just never know what to expect when you go someplace new. I was hoping they would know a few of my songs, but instead they knew everything and stood up the whole time and sang along with every single word. So it was more than I ever could have expected.
The statistics are genuinely astonishing about what you've achieved in just a few years. 16 number one singles. I mean, some people have careers over 30 or 40 years and they might get like 8 number one singles. You have 16 number one singles. You have 5 Grammy Awards, and it's all happened in just a few years. You must have good people around you to stop your head completely spinning off. I
do, but living in Nashville, it's also a really, really great balance of being able to go out on the road and, be famous on tour and things like that, but then come home and completely be normal and be able to decompress and
Can
write.
You be normal?
Yeah. Nashville is really, really wonderful as far as that goes. So many people are actually moving to Nashville. You see the most kind of random, if you go out on Saturday night to a restaurant, you just see this eclectic mix of people from other genres of music, like eating dinner. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And I was looking at the song credits on your current album, and Nashville is famous for its collaborative song process. You work with other. I mean, some people do stuff on their own, but you get put with other people and you work with other people and you come up with songs. And I'm interested because we have a mutual friend, as a gentleman called Steve McEwen, who was a good friend over here, and then he went to Nashville to be a songwriter, and I never knew he was going to be such a successful songwriter. He's written 7 of your songs.
He has, yeah.
But I just love that whole process, which seems to be almost unique to country music. Explain how it works on this record.
Well, I love being paired up with people that I know and trust and am friends with and have gotten to know over the past 8 years. I also love being paired up with the most random people. Like I've written with.
Well, that'll be Steve, because there aren't that many Brits over there writing country hits.
Right, but he's very good at it. Because country music's all about just great writing in general, and we twang up the rest of it. So
Steve fits right in. But yeah, I really enjoy writing with other people because no matter what, I've had fun. I go in to write for the day and we share stories and we laugh and we drink like 15 cups of coffee and Lord knows what comes out of our mouths, and we just have fun with it. And that's for me what it's all about. And if a great song comes out of it, then that's just double bonus.
Okay, well, you certainly got double and triple bonus with most of the tracks from this record. So you're going to play "Good Girl." Awesome. Tell us about this and who you wrote it with and how this came to be.
I wrote "Good Girl" with Ashley Gorley, whom I've written with before, and a guy I had never written with before, named Chris DiStefano, and he's kind of this up and coming, like he can play anything. So we had a lot of fun just kind of sitting there, him tinkering around on all his like Pro Tools rig and playing by the time we walked out, we had a demo in our hands, and we wrote it really fast, which is always good. It's going to be
That's good. A good sign, is it?
It is. If you have to spend all day on it, you're not going to.
So how long from start to finish?
From start to finish, from walking in that day to walking out with a demo, I think we actually wrote 2 songs that day. So it only took us a few hours.
Because I like to think you sweating for weeks over a big hit song, and you can just do them in a couple of hours.
The best ones are the ones that just pour out, and you have fun with them, and you figure it all out, and then you can go back and tweak later. But the best ones are the ones that happen fast.
Here's "Good Girl." It's Carrie Underwood.
Girl, no good for you. You better get to getting on your goodbye.
Unmistakably, Carrie Underwood, and that's "Good Girl." It's Radio 2 at 6:19. We'll talk more with Carrie in just a moment. But first of all, Adam has a news flash. Country superstar Carrie Underwood is with us. It's the Country to Country Festival at the O2 in London this weekend, and there are other dates. Dublin Olympia on the 14th of March, Belfast Waterfront on the 15th of March. Have you done those? Have I got? No, they're coming up, and then it's the it's the O2 Festival. Just checking the dates.
Yeah.
So you had this extraordinary success by winning American Idol in 2005. Do you remember? It's been so astonishing for you since then. Do you remember 2004?
Yes.
What were you doing in 2004?
I was going to university. I was in my last year. And
which university were you at?
Northeastern State University.
Okay.
It's a smaller school in Oklahoma where I grew up. So.
And what were you studying?
I was actually, and I ended up being able to finish after Idol. I lacked 1 semester, so I got to finish and have a degree in journalism.
So that was your intended future?
Yeah. I love I've always loved writing. I loved writing stories. I loved editing. I loved doing camera work and things like that. So I always hoped to get a career in maybe television broadcast. I kind of have one.
well, you do. So if it all goes to pot, in the future, if the next album is a catastrophe and there are no sales at all, at least you have a career.
I do, and I do love it, and it is nice to know I am qualified to do something else. And someday when I'm telling my children they should go to school.
Is it the kind of thing that I know your parents were very supportive in your singing, but that they were reassured that you actually had a qualification?
Well, my mom was a school teacher, so education was always very important to both my parents, but especially my mom. She wanted me to, that's just kind of what I was going to do. I was going to graduate high school and I was going to go to college, so I did.
And then it all went so wrong.
And then it did. It went terribly wrong, and I got on reality TV.
Whose idea was that?
My mom actually helped with that one. I saw on the news that they were having auditions in Cleveland, so I got online and checked out where they were going to have auditions in other cities, and saw that they were going to have auditions in St. Louis. Asked my mom where St. Louis was because I'm a geography dope, and she told me it was about 7 hours away, and asked why, and I told her, and she said, well, if you want to go, I'll drive you. So she was just always not really pushing me, but just always there supporting me.
So she drove you? She
did. I'm a terrible driver, so it's best
what
that
about,
she
could you
drove.
Not take a plane?
I had never been on a plane before I was going out to the Hollywood rounds of American Idol. So that was my first plane ride.
Wow. So did you... No, I know you've talked lots about this anyway, but I haven't asked you about it before because we haven't met before. But was there a moment when you thought, that you could tell from their reaction, because you blow people away with your voice, which is so powerful. And when you sang for Bob Harris, you know, this is the reaction that that you have. Was there a moment where you thought, okay, this is going well, I could actually win this?
Oh, probably not until, you know, there were only a few of us left. I feel like I've always kind of underestimated, which is good. I think it's much better to underestimate yourself than to overestimate yourself
in general in life. Yes.
Yeah. So but being in you know, in Hollywood and going through all those rounds and seeing, you know, very talented people be sent home, I was just, every week I was there longer, just realizing and feeling how lucky I was, and couldn't believe that I was still there. And every week it was like, all right, this is my week, I'm going home. And I made it through week after week until there were only a few of us left. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's like 4 of us. Like, I have a 1 in 4 shot of winning this. This is crazy.
Because over here, the really big stars, I mean, Leona Lewis was very successful, but One Direction and bands like that, they never won. You know, so when they go on the, you know, the people that win the reality shows don't tend to have huge careers. But in America, and you are proof.
There's a lot of us, you know, that got our start, win or not, on shows like Idol. You look at like Jennifer Hudson. She wasn't first or second or third. I don't even think she was a little further down the list. There's a lot of people that have been very successful on Broadway and things like that, and they weren't winners. Catherine McPhee came in second, and now she's this gorgeous, you know, figure on TV, doing very well at that. So it's been a launching pad for a lot of us, win or not.
Yeah. So what ambitions can you have left, Carrie? I know that you're, you know, you. Sorry to mention this, a little bit insensitive. I know you've just turned 30.
Yeah.
And although I think you were quoted as saying it's the first anniversary of your 29th birthday or something like that. Anyway.
It just sounds so weird to say I'm 30.
And it's a bit disrespectful
Okay.
to mention a lady's age, obviously. But your ambition, when you've done so much with 5 Grammys and 16 number ones and millions of records sold, you must be thinking, this is what I'd like to achieve. Do you want to act? I don't know, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm always kind of open to opportunity. I try not to have too many things that I have my sights set on, because you just never know what could come up along the way. So I keep my eyes and ears open, and I'm actually getting the chance to do a musical on live television later on this year, kind of towards the end of this year. We're doing The Sound of Music, which is a movie I grew up loving. We're, of course, doing the musical version, but I get to play Maria, which I'm so excited about, and it's hopefully going to just be this big, amazing event, and something that I can look back on my career and say, I can't believe I did that.
And you're doing it live?
Live. Everyone will be singing
That's
live.
nuts.
It is, but I welcome the challenge, and I loved how much respect everybody involved seemed to have for the musical and for live music, and that's what I'm all about.
High on a hill with a lonely goat herd.
Yeah.
And then you do some yodeling.
I do, and
you can do all that.
I can. I definitely want to work with people, because I know I sing country music and I have a bit of twang in my voice, but I think together we can all make it something really wonderful.
And my suggestion to you, not that you need any help at all, because you're surrounded by very good people. When people say to you, when you come over to this country, because we had this conversation with Taylor Swift when she came on the program, don't de-twang your music. We like music with twang. Don't take it out. Stay a country artist.
Yes.
Don't sort of do what people would see as like a European version. We don't want that.
I have no interest in doing that. I've always loved it when people kind of stuck to their guns and just did what they did. And if people like it, then that's absolutely wonderful. I've never done any remixes of any songs, and certainly don't intend to now.
Excellent. It's what you want to hear. So, Carrie Underwood, we appreciate you coming in. I hope you really enjoy the O2 and the London and the whole Country to Country Festival. Thank you very much, Dee, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And keep warm.
I will.